I'm Greg Tepper with Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and that's Matt Stepp with Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and we're going to have a high school football fight. We are going to discuss one of the hottest topics in Texas high school football this week, following DeSoto's resounding win over Duncanville. That opens up the number one spot at the top of the rankings, and we had a lengthy discussion here, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, as far as who's number one, and we figured we'd just bring that conversation here.
Yeah, Pickle beat us up, but other than that, we're doing okay, right?
Yeah. So there are two teams. Really, I think we should probably pay some homage to number 3 and 4 in Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press rankings, in Austin Westlake and Austin Vandegrift, both unbeaten. And there's some other unbeaten teams across the state of Texas. But is it your opinion that in Class 6A, North Shore and DeSoto, rather, are the two teams with the strongest claim to number one?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. These two teams, there's no debate. If it's not 1-2, it's 1A, 1B. These are the two best teams in Class 6A today.
Okay, so then the question becomes, who is number one? Now, with our rankings, when they came out on Monday on TexasFootball.com, we went with North Shore as the number one team and DeSoto as the number 2 team. I will say, if you take a look at the way that we have it, as well as a lot of the other computer rankings, our friend Carl Padilla has DeSoto number one by
1 point.
By 1 point,
yeah.
By margins. Massey Ratings, which is another computer rankings, has it flipped. The Dave Campbell's Texas Football computer actually has North Shore number 3 in the rankings. I think that speaks to how close these two really are.
Absolutely. There's not the margins are very slim here, and I think you're splitting hairs. And I think if you want to have DeSoto as your number one team, you are. In fact, if you ask me today, I say DeSoto's number one. But
Okay, so let's start there. Let's make the argument for DeSoto as number one. Why? What is the argument for DeSoto as number one?
That right there, bolded, 20-inch font. A 2-touchdown win over Duncanville in a game that really they controlled start to finish. Duncanville got 1 touchdown late in the game, almost a window dressing type touchdown. But that's the best win of any team in the state of Texas. Right now, that's the best win, and it's not close. That's the best win.
And it was not, you mentioned it's not fluky. Like, that was a dominant win. DeSoto went out there and really bodied Duncanville, the number one team in the state, who had looked untouchable. I know it surprised us. I don't think it necessarily shocked us that DeSoto won, but the dominance by which they did. And by the way, you look at some of their other wins. Allen, it's proven to be a decent team. Our computer rankings like Allen at number 23, and then South Oak Cliff, the number a two-time reigning state champion.
And actually, that score is not correct. They beat South Oak Cliff by 40.
By 40, that's right.
So they have a 40-point win over. They have 3 wins over top 40 teams by at least. My math is correct, 14 points or more.
Yeah. So DeSoto has 3 very dominant wins. The argument against DeSoto, I think, would be after that. Doesn't get a whole lot.
It's a drop-off.
Yeah.
There's a drop-off for sure. But I think at the top of the resume, DeSoto's resume is stronger.
I think you're right. Especially at the very tippy top, they've got the best win in the state of Texas. Okay, let's talk about North Shore. The argument for North Shore, I would say, is, they were number 2, right? And so they were theoretically on deck for number 1. The other argument is, I don't think there's any doubt they have the deeper resume than DeSoto does.
Yeah, we got 5 wins in the top 31, and if that's all 5 wins by double digits with just 1 10-point win. If you take out the Summer Creek win, these are all 3 touchdown plus wins for North Shore.
And I think one of the things that we kind of bandied about whenever we were talking about doing the rankings was North Shore was number 2. They just beat Atascocita by 26, the number 6 team in our computer rankings. It wouldn't be a punishment to keep them at number 2, but it's hard not to reward them for their dominance, especially what they've done recently.
Yeah, and then we're still talking about the team that was a state runner-up last year in 6A Division 1, which last year was the stronger division of the 2 divisions in Class 6A, and they've done nothing to warrant being jumped by anyone. I think they've had a great year, and I think they're the team of record in Houston, and I think right now DeSoto is a team of record in Dallas. It's going to be actually a little unfortunate that if these two, we won't get to see these two collide because DeSoto's probably going to go to Division 2. The silver lining here is that maybe if North Shore and Duncanville play, we'll get to have a direct comparison and correlation to DeSoto Duncanville.
Yeah, that's the only problem. Is that we're probably not going to get to settle this on the field. The good news is it's just rankings. It's just fun to talk about, and we will be talking about it the entire way all through the playoffs at TexasFootball.com.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.